Sometimes when the narrative for a project starts to shift or change, it might be worth paying attention. Welcome back to Bearman Crypto, where we talk all things crypto. In today's video, I want to cover a project which I feel has a narrative which is starting to change and slightly shift, and there seems to be a bit more attention going towards this project. So the project I want to cover is Fantom. And in recent days, it seems that this project is starting to generate a fair bit of interest. So a few months back, it seemed that Fantom was dead and buried. Its leader, Andre Cronje, had left, and everything just seemed to be on a downward spiral. The TVL seemed to be tanking, but that could have been just alongside the market. So it seems that that narrative is starting to shift now. Andre Cronje is now back. He came back recently, and he's been tweeting about various things happening in the Fantom ecosystem, and he seems to be generating a lot of positive interest in the project. So just here on the Fantom website, you can see how big Fantom are. So they've got over 200 plus dApps which interact with Fantom. You can see some of them here. There's quite a lot of big names. You got Curve, you got 1inch, you got what else do you have? You got Orion. Orion is a fairly popular one. So there's quite a lot of things that are built on using the Fantom ecosystem. You can see here you got some cross-chain bridges, you got lending and borrowing, you got Aave as well that it interacts with. So this platform had always been generated quite a lot of high interest. We can even see from the TVL. So this is just on DeFi Llama, where we obviously can see where they rank in terms of chains. So just having a look at this. So at the moment, Fantom are sitting at number 8 in terms of chains with the highest TVL locked. And you can see here in terms of the dApps, the protocols that interact with Fantom, 268, which is one of the high ranking ones. Obviously you've got the big players up here. You've got Polygon, you've got Avalanche, and obviously you've got the top dog, Ethereum, sat up here. But just having a look in terms of the TVL performance for Fantom, you can see here the numbers are positive, considerably positive compared to other chains above it. So obviously in terms of last 7 days change, it's up just over around 7.5%, which is better than anyone else above it. As well as if you look at the 1 month change in Fantom, you can see here they've got, I guess all the numbers here are negative. They got one of the least negative numbers. Obviously you got Arbitrum up here, which is performing quite well, and that's obviously generating a lot of interest from the Arbitrum Odyssey at the moment that will be going on. But then obviously Fantom is the second least negative change. So obviously there's a lot of good interest going on in Fantom. You can see here TVL 464 million, and if you just have a look at the actual, you can see here, so obviously at its peak the TVL for Fantom was sat at 8 billion, which is just absolutely insane considering now we're down at 463 million. So it's down considerably. However, with Andre Cronje coming back, that narrative is once again starting to shift. The market, obviously, once the market starts to recover, this TVL locked will start to potentially shift as well. Again, for complete disclosure, I myself at the moment, I am not invested in Fantom. All I'm sharing with you is what I'm hearing, and it's up to you to make your own further research. And it's always worthwhile. I'm just giving you these little nuggets and leaving it to you to then go and do your own further research. This is a project that I've always wanted to invest in. The last bull run, I completely missed it, and this was at 32 cents, and then this literally rallied up to over $3. We'll look at the price in just a second, but all I want to share with you is just give you start to give you some ideas of where you can do your own further research. And one of those areas is where the narrative starts to shift about a specific project. It starts to generate a bit more interest, and it's always worthwhile paying attention when things like that start to happen. So the guy that I mentioned, Andre Cronje, so he came back. He had disappeared for ages, and then recently he's popped back up, and he has been tweeting quite a lot. So a few days ago, it was, if I just scroll down on his Twitter here, given all the things that had happened with FTX and all the companies that were facing liquidation trouble, he literally released this article which talked about, gave an insight into Fantom and what their sort of financial position was. And I believe that this is what has started to generate the interest in Fantom. So this was the article which was titled An Inside Financial Peek at Being a Crypto Company. I won't go into every minute detail of this article, but I'll just give you the sort of headline. So he basically started back in June 2018 and gave everyone an overview in terms of the journey that Fantom had been on, the troubles that they faced and the experience that they had in the last bear market, and then leading on to the bull run this year, and then back to where their current position is in the current bear market. And really the key headline to take out of this is obviously the experience that they had. They actually had some interactions with Alameda, where Alameda obviously tried to take some form of advantage of them. And it's quite an interesting article because it obviously gives a lot of specific figures and costs, particularly about running their business. But the key bit that he highlighted in this article is how Fantom had basically got a lot of capital behind them, which would see them being able to run their business for the next 30 years, basically. So here, this is the article which says, as of November 2022, they had over 450 million FTM and over 100 million in stables, over 100 million in crypto assets, and 50 million in non-crypto assets. And at their current burn rate of 7 million, this gave them a runway of over 30 years. So I think what he was trying to do here is basically reassure everyone that, Fantom are not going anywhere. They've got a lot of money behind them. And this was the opportune moment for him to basically go and just reassure the market, because obviously at the moment everyone's on tenterhooks about which crypto companies are going to go under, and then he just talks a bit about the sort of things that Fantom are doing, and just highlighting here that obviously they're cash flow positive given all the stuff that they're doing within DeFi, as well as the stuff that their validators do on their behalf. So this, I feel, has just reinvigorated Fantom and got the interest going again. And literally today they tweeted, Andre released another tweet specifically around incentivizing builders on their ecosystem. So it was this article here about a gas monetization program. So just the short version of this, basically what they're going to do is basically give 15% of the burn rate back to the builders to incentivize them to build on the platform, and obviously keep the other 5% will be burned. So this is again just to generate more people building on Fantom, and again this will start to generate that increased TVL within the ecosystem. So this could potentially start to tick up. Who knows? But I think this type of narrative shift is definitely worthwhile paying attention. And just looking at their price and on CoinGecko. So at the moment, at the time of recording this video, the price is sat at just under 26 cents. They're ranked number 60. In terms of circulating supply, it's 2.5 billion, and total supply is 3.2 billion. So most of the tokens are already in circulation, and we know, as I just talked about in that other article, Fantom actually hold 450 million of those tokens. So, you know, this chart here, you can see how horrendous it is. It literally reflects their TVL, the performance of their TVL. So you can imagine if this TVL starts to tick back up again, I would imagine there is a chance, who knows, the price might start to tick back up again. All-time high, we've got a price here of $3.46. So when I first heard about Fantom back in 2021, this was sat at roughly about the same price that it is now, around about 17 cents when it first came to my attention. And then I literally didn't pay any further attention to it, and you can see how the price absolutely skyrocketed. But obviously that was in the bull market, and we're back down to those prices yet again, and it could be a time to once again pay attention to this project. It's, you know, it could be one of those top chains that will outperform in the next bull run. I'm certainly paying attention, and I'm going to continue doing my own further research about this ecosystem, and if I like what I see, I might start to buy a little bit. Again, I haven't bought any at the moment. I'll be doing my own further research before venturing and investing any of my hard-earned cash. Hope you're enjoying this type of content. If you are, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button. And if you've got any specific thoughts around Fantom, what do you think the situation with Fantom is? Do you think that Andre being back will completely change the direction of Fantom now? Is that TVL going to start to increase again? Let me know your thoughts, and continue to stick around and pay attention, and I will see you in my next video.